So I'm listening to YouTube Secrets. Boy, this is really dry, but I'm like, okay, since I've been thinking more about our YouTube channel, I thought, well, why don't we take some knowledge? Not a ton of good stuff yet in this book. It's a 3-hour book, and I'm about almost an hour into it. And Mobius Nightlord Book 6 I read. I really enjoyed this. This series is great. The Nightlord series is fantastic. Vampires, oven feline vampires. You must find your way into the vampirism. Love, simply love listening to audiobooks before I go to bed. Sometimes when I go for a walk, anywhere I can kind of stuff them in. So good. And we talked about Awaken Online, Dominion. So like I chewed through those. There's some more books in the series. The Singularity Trap was pretty good. I forgot that I read that. That was pretty good. Fall or Dodge in Hell, a novel. I enjoyed that. Neil Stevenson. Another Nightlord book. Still reading The Charisma Myth. There's some really good stuff in this book. So, communication skills, I haven't read yet. Born Standing Up, I enjoyed. Steve Martin. Kind of a, if I were to say that I really enjoy certain actors and folks of talent, Steve Martin's definitely one of those folks on my list. Fantastic sort of biography. Lots of good stuff there. Steve Martin's made some of the comedy that's been I don't know, nearest and dearest to my heart ever since I was young. And I think part of my comedic sense of humor definitely comes from enjoying his work. Another Nightlord book. I read this last summer, Mastering Stand-Up. That's when I went up to take care of my father and Francine and square away their housing situation. So that was pretty good. I enjoyed that. Another Nightlord book. Oh, so good. The Demon Next Door I haven't read yet. On my list. Also haven't read Junk either. I just don't think so. Yeah, no, totally have not. Thinking Fast and Slow is still on the list. Drive. I did read Drive. Drive's a short book. It was quite interesting. I liked that the book really got down to basically just making a premise that the things that motivate workers and people now have shifted, and by large in society, and and have shifted. So if you don't know what drives people, what their motivations are, how can you effectively work with people? Because some of the greatest things we accomplish together comes from working together. So fantastic book. Definitely recommend it. It's easy to grok too, which is nice. Nightlord Sunset, read it. And then also there's more books now in the Cycle of Galand. I read through these, which were pretty good too. Very, very fantasy based. Spellmonger series. Tony Robbins. This dude's got wisdom. Pretty dope. I've read Awaken the Giant Within. I read Unlimited Power. And I haven't top 30 life and business lessons. I haven't done that yet. This dude's got a pretty interesting story. I kind of got back to the books a little bit because he did like a Netflix special documentary of like one of his retreats. He's got a lot of people that he reaches. So Financial Freedom Playbook I have not read yet, but it's on the list. Everyday Meditation. I need to spend more time with Everyday Meditation. The 4-Hour Work Week, dude and dudettes. There's a lot of good wisdom. This is a popcorn title, I mean, but the gist of it is that setting up businesses and opportunities, working to automate them so you're not just manually having to do the grind all the time, and then setting them up to work on their own with having very minimal touch points. Very, very smart stuff. I was actually really surprised. I went to this book with a lot of skepticism, because the first thing that anyone does, especially when you're a professional like me, you're like, dude, I work my ass off. Like, there's no way I can take all of the ass off that I'm working and cram it down into 4 hours. But that's not really what this is. That's just it's basically what he did. What Timothy Ferris did is he basically tested a bunch of titles, and this is one of the titles that tested really well. So, and the first step is to get people in the door skeptical otherwise. And I was pleasantly surprised. Had my son read this book too. Very, very good. More Send Online. That was towards last year. Skyward. I haven't read yet, so I'm looking forward to reading this. Brandon Sanderson's a fantastic author. Some of the books that have moved me the most over the years have come from him. So another Ascend Online, The Compound Effect. I'm not going to recommend it, but it was interesting. Think and Grow Rich is a really good book. There's some, for being an old book, it's always nice when you're like, oh, this was sort of like the wisdom of thinking for people 50 years ago. And some of it very much applies to the modern day, which is pretty fantastic. So lots of good things to say about that. Secrets of the Millionaire Mind is also good. A good read. They have interesting takes on mindset, growth, visualizations, using good visualization techniques. You know, like there's a lot of good stuff there. So this is just showing 20 titles a page. There's 9 pages. Yeah. So my Zay, you kicked me off on looking at this, and I was like, holy crap, how many books have I gone through? Ah, so good, so good.